Good morning, artists. Mrs. Langless here, and today we're coming back to our remote art project that was all about drawing flowers using shapes. So here's how far we got last time. And today what we're going to do is we're going to work on cleaning up this artwork. We're going to add stems, and then we're going to add color. So what I like to do after I trace is to make sure that I get rid of any pencil lines that are left behind. So you'll notice there's a little bit of pencil line left here. So I just kind of go over it with a large eraser and just clean it up a little bit. That way those pencil lines won't show through when you're done with coloring. And you don't have to worry about getting every little line. It's not a big deal because your coloring will likely cover it up anyway. But it's something that I always like to do just to get the majority of those lines off my paper. All right, now I'm just gonna sweep here and clean it up. And now we're gonna talk about stems. All right, so I should probably give you a sneak preview of where we're headed today. So today we are going to add color. So here is how I did it. Now yours, again, does not need to look just like mine because that's what makes art look special, right? And it also makes the artwork your own. So today we are going to add the stems, as I mentioned, and add color. All right, so in order to add the stems, you kind of have to use your imagination a little bit. You kind of have to think about where the stems would be. So for example, this flower is above this one. So if I were to draw a stem, so I'm just going to make one line. I'm going to make the stem come down here, but it runs into another flower. So I have to imagine where that line would go. And I just kind of continue it. So if you follow the line, you'll notice I'm making it sort of disappear behind each of these petals. That's because it's overlapped by this flower. This is going to make it look more realistic. So now that I've done one line coming down to show the stem, I'm going to do two to show the thickness of the stem. So I'm just going to take another line right along the inside and it disappeared behind that flower again. There it pops out. There I can see it again, and there it is. Now stems often have, some green parts attached to it too. So I'm just going to add some of those in to make it look even more realistic. And then perhaps I'll make a stem right here. This one is all by itself, so I don't need to make it disappear behind anything. It's not being overlapped. All right, this next one, same thing. I can just make a stem come down, and this guy right here is above this guy. So I'm again going to draw a stem, and he'd probably come maybe right about to there. And again, I can imagine that there would be maybe some greenery here coming off of these. I could even draw some big blades of grass if I wanted to. This one, I won't actually see the stem on this guy. And so the only one left is this one right here. So I'm just going to make the stem come. Maybe this guy is kind of a heavy flower, so it's sort of bending a little bit. I kind of like the way that looks. And then I will make some green coming off of it too, a little leaf maybe. All right, now that I've got my stems all drawn, what I'm going to do is go ahead and trace them. So again, I'm using a black marker, but you can really use whatever you want. You could use crayon, you could use colored pencil to trace. It's really up to you. And in many cases, when I don't have the time or the materials, sometimes I just leave out the tracing altogether and just go ahead and color. So that's fine too. So I'm just going to go over my lines. My flowers are really starting to come to life now in my artwork here. And here we go. All right, now once you get it all traced, that's where the coloring comes in next. So I like to use lots of different colors when I color flowers because it makes my artwork look more beautiful, and also because this time of year, with everything just kind of coming to life, we all need a little bit more color, I think, in our lives. So a lot of times what I do is I start with a yellow or maybe an orange, and I work on coloring the interior circles, the first place that we started in this artwork. So I'm just going to go ahead, and when I do these, I usually color in a circle at the same time. And a lot of times I'll do a couple at a time. So I'm going to do this one, this one, this one, and then this one. Now, when I go to color my flowers, I actually like to blend colors together. You can also just use one color, but I think it's kind of fun to use a variety. So for example, I'm going to start on this one right here, and I'm actually going to start with pink for these first inside petals. And then I'm going to actually take a darker color, and I'm just going to press down. Now that crayon wasn't quite as dark as I was hoping, so I'm going to grab a different one. This is a red violet. Oh, I like that one better. And just on the outer edges of this, I'm going to color. Oh, I like how that looks. So a lot of times on flower petals, you can actually see more than one color. And so by doing this, we actually are making the color look more interesting, but also look more real. Okay, so I'm doing one color, and then I'm going to add another right on the edges of my petals. And again, you can just color yours with one color. That's really okay. This is just something I like to do to make my flowers look more interesting. Okay, so I would keep on going with that and then continue to create some different color situations. So take a look. Here's mine. Here I even used some yellow and some red, violet, and orange, and I kind of mixed them together. This one I just went straight up purple, and then this one I did some blending as well. Now I colored the stems green, of course. I used a couple different types of green to give it a little bit more variety. And then finally, I used a crayon without wrapper on its side to color in the sky. Remember when we did the crayon rubbings and used the crayon on its side? It's a really easy way to get around all these edges, and it also looks more like a sky color. So that's what I really like about using that. So have fun adding your details, those stems to your flowers, and also adding beautiful colors. I cannot wait to see your artwork all finished. So please remember when you're finished with your artwork to snap a photo and upload it to Seesaw or email it to me at my email, hlanglis@aos94.org, and have a wonderful day. See you next time.